good evening, and we welcome you to Here's the Life with Zemrah, and of course, my handsome better half, Ed.
Good evening.
We were so happy, and we got to say it. We got to give a shout out if he's listening to Harold Morrison, dynamic drummer, musician, producer, all that good stuff that shared a lot of good entertainment and music information with us last Tuesday. And we're going to definitely have Harold back. So just so good because he's played with so many good artists, local as well as national and international. So it was really, really good seeing him. I hadn't even seen him in a while. And he is the grandfather of a new baby boy. That I think was 8 pounds and some odd ounces. And matter of fact, it had escaped me to ask him that last week. And when we got outside, I happened to ask when the baby was due, and he said, "Oh my God, the baby had come that
That
day."
day, right?
Yeah. So anyway, congratulations to his daughter and family, and to him and his lovely wife Vivian. So. We definitely want to get you back on so we can have a part two of some more good music information. He works with some great musicians, and it's always good to talk with an artist, another artist, because I enjoy talking to artists because that's what I am, an artist.
Well, especially one who's been playing music for the last 45 years.
Now 30. Don't,
Thir-
yeah, he said over 30. Don't go into no 40, 45.
Over 30 years with just about everybody on the planet,
Right.
which is really, really good. And very informative, a lot of experience, and a lot of good information to give out to young people on how to succeed in the business.
Oh yeah, because one thing, like he said about being timely, if you have a gig, Harold's there way before time set up. He's always prepared, so that is what makes a great musician or vocalist. Because when you're on time and you get a chance to relax before you go on stage and be able to feel the vibe of the people, if you can see them or hear them, because that's how we feed off of our audience. So when you can kind of sit back, relax, and get the vibe and know that your audience is waiting on you, that makes you feel real good. So it's always good to make sure that you are prepared, know your craft, know what you're bringing to the people, and they'll always receive you well.
We're going to get Harold back in one of these days, aren't we?
Oh yeah, I just said
Yes.
that we're going to get him back for part two, but on the 18th of this month, we have Dr. Gwendolyn Odom joining us with a new venture that she has set her sights on and making happen, and it's her own business. So she's always grown and built someone else's business. Dr. Gwendolyn Odom is on the mission of building her own. And believe me, it will be well done because that's what she's done for others in the medical field. But she's jumped into another field that I know she's going to be dynamic on because whatever she touches absolutely turns to gold. So I wish her well and really look forward to her joining us on the 18th of this month. So that's a couple of Tuesdays from now. And then we have some other guests that'll be joining us. It's always good we always like to have guests because they always bring another dimension, other information, more information. And it's just always real good. So we always enjoy that. But just to jump right in, and again, I'm working on Love is Possible. I am so excited. My music is being compiled together right now as we speak. And I'm just so excited about it until I just cannot wait to start laying my vocals. So, Love is Possible, and you know it is. It's going to be a real, real treat for my fan base. You are just going to love this CD. So many people love Irresistible Zemrah, very, very Irresistible Zemrah. They just love it. Well, if you think you love that, you wait till you hear this CD. I have two covers that I'm doing, and then four originals. And then that is a prelude to my to the whole CD, but we hope to be coming out with that at least by before the holidays, before Christmas, really,
Hmm.
but definitely in time for my holiday show, which we are shooting for the first week in December. So, again, not rushing it, but those of you that supported me, you know that you get some rewards coming. Your CD will be available for you. And I look forward to just sharing an absolutely wonderful, wonderful project that has been taken to heart and that has truly been put together with absolute professionalism, tender, loving care just for me. And I'm very, very grateful and very excited about it. So we're going to jump right in and let Mr. Sherman talk a little bit about what he loves always talking about is some of this political stuff that's happening around in the world. And we also pray that Louisiana, I think it is Louisiana and
Yeah.
Alabama,
Right. Just having
going through some challenges
another
with a
tornado come
hurricane,
through
no,
there.
hurricane
Hurricane came through there.
that I don't know if it's hit, but our prayers is that it went the other way or went or just dissolved rather than go the other way, that it just dissolved and into the waters.
Yeah, because I don't think that Louisiana can stand another hurricane.
No, they can't.
At least not one of that magnitude that was Katrina,
Yeah,
because it wiped out. Matter of fact, wiped out my old whole neighborhood, the Ninth Ward where I grew up with
yeah.
my grandmother and grandfather and my aunts and uncles. It's devastated. It was wiped out. Matter of fact, completely. But it's
Wow.
coming back. It's coming back. They're starting to do some more buildings around there, and
Well, that's why they don't need any more damage.
right.
I had a client today that called in and took care of her, for her supplement. So um, I guess everything really and truly was all right. I didn't ask her, what area of Louisiana, but anyway. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in your head regarding uh, what's happening in Chicago with the mayor and all of that,
Well,
which is not our mayor, but we still keep abreast of what's happening because we have so many people that
Chicago's mayor,
yeah,
and we're part of Chicago. It's still our matter of fact, the whole city is ours. So yeah, we live in the suburbs, but he is the mayor for Chicago, and he uh, thought not to seek re-election this year, which I think, good or bad, a lot of people are thankful for. They want him coming back.
well, I don't think he sought it because I don't think he thought he would be successful at it. I don't
Well,
think he I
but
think he pretty much knew that he would not be reelected anyway.
well, he claimed the same thing. A lot of politicians claim that he wanted to spend more time with his family. And so, well, definitely, if you're not going to get elected, or you think you're not going to be elected, you will be spending more time with your family.
Absolutely.
So, but I think this year, in this political climate, there's a referendum on the truth. The truth was has been under attack for the last year, and I'm glad because I watch it daily to see just how people respond, not to what happens, but how the media and how the establishment responds to it. Because that tells you more about who we are than the problems and the things that are hurled against it and the lies. It tells you more about who we are than the problem, and that's how we respond to it. And for the longest, people were holding their breath and didn't think the establishment had the guts to stand up uh, to Donald Trump, and wondering why the Republican Party gave no resistance to what he was doing, even if it was against all ethics and all values that Americans hold dear. That they would let him do whatever he wanted to do, just for the sake of getting their bills passed or to get tax cuts for the rich and anything else they wanted done. And today they're trying to push through Judge Kavanaugh's nomination to the Supreme Court, and I mean force it through. without even having enough information or getting all of the records that the Democrats demanded that they take a look at before they nominate him to the court, which was judicial prudence to get him enough time to vet him. And the chair said no. The chairman of the Republican Party said they didn't have time for that. We're gonna vet him now. We're gonna enroll him now. As he said, but we have not a chance to talk about the things that he has done and he has ruled against. And his thinking is that the, a president cannot be indicted. He's already made claims to that and said he doesn't believe that. And again, when it comes down to Roe v. Wade, he's sided with. He doesn't believe that a woman has a right to choose. Under the case involving this young lady who was an immigrant who was in custody and she was pregnant, 17 years old, and she wanted an abortion. And he held her in the court for weeks and weeks without ruling on it, and it was her right to have it because she didn't want it. And he held it in the courts. And they only give you like 20 weeks in Texas. She was already at 15 weeks without uh, the decision on it. When it was her right to get it, and he held it and said he wanted to hold it for another 2 more weeks, which means she'd been 17. And said that once he got in his court, it would take another 2 or 3 weeks to find a sponsor. And she said that she had to have a sponsor to get the abortion. She really didn't. She did not need a sponsor to get an abortion. And finally, they overruled him and went on and let the young lady have the abortion. But he wrote a descending article on his decision because he was angry because they overruled him. Because he was trying to let so much time pass by where she couldn't get an abortion because after 20 weeks you can't do it. And he was going to let that young lady suffer for for additional 5 weeks, so she could not get one. Instead of just saying, he knew he couldn't legally stop her, but if he knew if he drug it out long, she couldn't get it.
Yeah, because after so long time, that's jeopardizing a life.
So those are the kind of decisions that the Democrats were saying that we need to look at all the decisions he made and all the cases he's tried and all of the time that he was working with the White House. Even when he was working in the Bush White House, the way he ruled on uh, terrorist torture, he ruled on that. He worked on that, and then at his hearing said he never talked about torture. In other words, the man lied to Congress, and they were trying to prove this. Said, "Well, you said one thing, and then you said we checked the records and said that you had already talked to the Bush administration. Y'all discussed the torture, and you said you didn't. So therefore, we have to talk about you possibly lying to Congress."
Well, it's no possible.
Or that's the way
You
you
either
talk.
lie
You
or you don't
politician,
lie, and
if
they
you're a
lie.
politician, that's where you talk. That's where you talk. You indecisive. No, the man lied. He told
Yeah.
he didn't tell a falsehood. He lied. He didn't tell an
Well, there
untruth
seems to
or
be a lot of that
alternative
going on.
or an alternative truth. He just straight up lied. And if you're a liar, you cannot be on the court. Because the ex-president, because they did an interview with him the other day, and he said that one thing he did not allow that when he was in office, he never told one lie to the public. He said, now we got an administration that lies on a
You
regular
talk about
basis.
Barack, right?
Well, Barack too. Uh, President, I can't recall his name.
Clinton?
No, Clinton too. President Peanut, I call it.
Okay, well,
Anyway, he said, I would never lie. Why would you lie? Because you get caught up in a lie, and you got to tell another lie.
first of all, you should not even be able to represent
Well,
the country if you are
the
a
norms,
liar.
the norms have gotten skewed for the last year. That you hear so much negativity and so much lying until you get used to it. Until when something really big comes along, it doesn't seem that bad because there's so much going on every day, you catch it in so much controversy until it becomes the norm.
Yeah.
So when he says something really crazy, people go, "Oh well, that's just him." No, it's not. That should not be allowed. Period. And so I think the Congress and the government is starting to find their backbone. They're trying to find their spine. They're trying to find out where should they draw the line. And every time he does something over the line, they just move the line like they usually do. But there comes a point when there's just so much that a people are supposed to take. You shouldn't have let him cross the line in the first place. Should establish that. But they kept moving the line. Now they're moving it again because they're not trying to get Judge Kavanaugh elected to the Supreme Court, which will affect major decisions for the next 20, 30 years.
That is
As
just
long as
terrible.
he's in office, they say he's going to probably try and overturn Roe versus Wade, a woman's right to choose or to have an abortion or not, and to control her own body. He doesn't think there's a fear that he will overturn because based on his other decisions, that's how he feels. And that's what they want to bring out to the public, that this is who this man is.
Well, when it comes to abortions, that should be a woman's right. Now, you have always had your opinion about that,
Well, my opinion
and
about that is that it's not even an issue if it was only African American women. If African American women were aborting their children at an alarming rate every month or every year, it would not be an issue.
but when you talk about a woman and her body, those are decisions that should be left up to her because she's the one that has to go through. I mean, a woman passed death's door when she has a baby, and especially if you are now she's like you said 17.
Mm-hmm.
So she wasn't even, and that's one of the things. I mean, women, and we've said that before about being conscious and being protective of yourself. But definitely, when you get to when you're that young, you need to be mindful anyway about having children because I think that is another one of the problems with a lot of our youth nowadays because that, like we said several times before, is too many babies raising babies. So if you have a young lady that is 17, 15 or 16 that really does not want to make that commitment because it is a commitment. And once you have a baby, your life is tied up for a good while as far as being a mother. And then you have to you need that support. And if you really and truly don't have that support, then you're bringing a child in the world and jeopardizing really that child, exposing that child to neglect. And I just think that when first of all, it should be parents, a mother and a father to raise these children. So, based on that, I think it should be left up to the female to be able to make that decision as to whether or not they want to have a child. Now, don't want to get the cart behind, what is the horse behind the cart or whatever that is, however it is.
Before the cut.
Right, because you need to prepare and make sure that you don't even, let that happen. Just protect yourself.
Because just make it plain. Abortion is not family planning. That means you fail to plan.
Right,
So
right.
and then you have to look at
You need to be planning for school at 17, planning to go to
on a
college.
society level. You should look at why would a woman want to have an abortion? What makes it necessary? What makes it an option?
What I just really described. When you're at a certain age, you're raising baby, a baby's raising a
I
baby.
understand that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking after you are pregnant, what would want you to abort the child? What are some of the reasons?
Because you're not really and truly comfortable. Now, some people you might get where they're just elated. They didn't play with their dollies and all, and now this is a real doll.
I guess,
But you're not ready.
I guess my question is this: if society did not make it difficult for a woman with a child, if the community, if we had a close knit culture where the whole village raised children, then younger people having the children shouldn't be a problem because they are not the ones that are supposed to raise the children. You cannot allow or permit some person who just got here, who 19, 21, 22, whatever, to raise a child.
Well, see, the problem with that now, Ed, is that you got a lot of uh, women that are not. Um, I mean, they might be of grandma age, but they're not trying to raise their children's children.
Yeah, but
I mean,
that's
back in the day when they were like in their late 60s, early 70s, you know, they would babysit and all of that. A lot of our age group now, we have altogether different mindset because we're out. Our schedules are so busy. Most of us are still working jobs. We have our own dreams. We're not trying to turn around and raise our children's children because that's something that you should have thought about. If you want a house full of babies, then you need to take care of them.
that's when that comes down to the destruction of the culture or the close knit family. When that is destroyed, there's no support.
But I don't
Then
think
you
you can
have
be. You can support, but
but you got children who have no support. They don't have uncles and aunties who live together in a community that support the children and make sure that the children are being taught well by adults, not just the young people, because they don't know enough to teach a child what they really need to know.
well, again, babies raising babies because if they were taught well, they would know that at 17 you need to be preparing for college.
Right,
You don't
correct.
need to be preparing to be a mother because first of all, you don't even know that much about mothering, and it needs to be a household. The close knit family is a mother and father within the home where I have a mom and a dad to raise me.
Hmm.
And it's not fair when you look up and it's always on the female to have to struggle to raise a child a lot of times by themselves. That might have been this young lady's fear too.
Well, definitely, she had a lot of fears, and you shouldn't have fear when you're pregnant and about to have a child.
And that's why you
We
should
need
not
to
have
we
it at
need
that
we need
age.
to eliminate the fear.
And that's why we need to teach family planning. That is what needs to be where you protect yourself as a woman, and the young men need to protect themselves because they don't need to be worrying about that. It's a lot of responsibility. It really
And
is.
those type of things should be taught at a very early age.
Right. Well, we've talked about that before, and that's something that can never be talked about enough, I assume. But right now, we're going to talk about listening to a little bit of Zemrah.
Yeah.
Them that's got shall get, them that's not shall lose. For the Bible says, and it still is new. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Well, the strong get more while the weak ones fade. And empty pockets down, they never ever make the grade. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. Oh, that's got his own. That's got his own, yeah. When you got money and you got lots of friends, and they come crowding around your door. When all the money's gone and all the spending is, they don't come around anymore. Rich relations may give a crust of bread and such. You can help yourself, but don't you go and take too much. No, Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Well, and they come crowding around your door. And when all your money's gone and all the spending ends, they don't come around anymore. Rich relations make it across the bread and such. You can help yourself, baby, but don't you go and take too much. Mama may have, your papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own, that's got his God bless the child that's got his own. God bless the child that's got his own. Wait a minute. Okay, so we're back here at IntellectualRadio.com. We're here every Tuesday from 6 to 7, always hoping that we are bringing great information to you that you can carry with you, and it makes a difference. So we were just talking about, the 17-year-old young lady and the abortion, and how, our young people are really not prepared for becoming a mom and dad. And that is one of the problems I personally think is with a lot of our youth, is the fact that a lot of babies raising babies. There's just so much that you can do as far as raising a child properly if you're still really a youth in a sense yourself. So we just say to our young people to be, mindful and be conscious of, the path that you go down and that you take yourself down, because you need to be preparing for what life has for you. As far, it is so many opportunities for young people nowadays. So much money that you can make in a great way, doing things that you love, being creative. God gives us all a gift, and you take that and make that work for you. I'm just so proud of my niece Ashley, who works for Facebook HR. Her degree is in HR, and she flies all over the world, and she does so many things. She mentors some young girls, and just a wonderful, wonderful young lady. And we all are so proud of her because her sight is on, making it happen in life for herself, and her guy Sean as well. So we just say that. Take your opportunities, and I always say, when you embrace life, life will embrace you back. And that's what you got to embrace life, and take the talents that you have, the degrees that you receive, and just make a difference, because you all are really the future. And when you see that and you uh, visualize that, you are the ones that can really make the difference in this world, as far in this country, as far as your idea of becoming a president. Being the first female president. There are just so many opportunities, and I say, go for it, because it's there for you.
Be first female president, female mayor, uh, school superintendent, and whatever it is that you want to be. One of the good things you need to learn how to do is to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask someone that you admire, or someone that you have a certain amount of respect for. Uh, Ask them questions about some, get some advice on where you're trying to go and what are you trying to do. You'll be surprised. People will give you free information. You can get a free education like that if you only humble yourself and just ask a question.
Well, they have a whole lot. I mean, they have questions to ask, and they're not afraid to ask. That's why I say that our young people, the opportunities that they have are just unlimited if they just apply themselves. That's why it's important to take advantage of schooling. Really take
Mm.
advantage of schooling because it's there, and all it's about is really and truly just making sure that you apply yourself. So that's what That's what's great. So we just ask that you take take an idea and just kind of focus on it, and do what you have to do to make that difference. And
And as for the adults and the older people, um, always offer suggestions to younger people. They even if they don't listen right then, they remember it later on, and just never pass up a teachable moment because it lasts. You'd be surprised at what that. Matter of fact, you can think of things that someone told you when you were younger that you still remember to this day. Something simple, something in the passing, some obscure person that mentioned to you that you stay with you the rest of your life. So never pass those moments up because it may be just something that a young person needs to hear at that particular time. That will get them past a very difficult time.
yeah, well, that's what we well, with our grandchildren, we always try to talk to them and guide them because that's what a lot of times that's what they need is some guidance.
Whether they like it or not.
Yeah, because sometimes they have their own minds, and we know that. And sometimes you just have to make them see a difference for themselves. But again, I tell all young people that I run into, the opportunities that you have are unlimited. So just take advantage of it, key in, focus. And just like our grandson, our MMA, I always have to give a shout out to Emmanuel because again, he's a young man that we're very, very proud of. Because of his ability to focus on what his dreams are, and what are the things that he wants to do, and this. Taking charge of his life as far as this MMA fighter, he
He's
knows that he's awesome. He had a fight this past Saturday, and once again, his component backed out right at the middle in the middle of the stream because he had already a win, and he did not want to lose with a fight with Emmanuel.
because he knew a loss was coming.
Yeah, so
Emmanuel's
he backed out.
undefeated.
Yeah, he really is. So he's fighting for his title in December. I mean in November, and so I know he's going to prepare well for that. And once he gets that title, then they won't be able to back out on him because he prepares for it and all of that, and then look up, and then right at the last minute the opponent backs out. So he won't have to go up against that anymore. Once he gets that belt, they will have to go through with that fight. So I think that there should be an
Well,
accountability when that happens anyway, after he's gone through all that preparation for a fight. But he's focused, he's good at what he does, and he's someone that I very much admire. So I wish him a lot of blessings, and I wish him well.
as they say, life favors the well prepared.
Yeah.
So if you practice your craft, you constantly practice and constantly getting better at it, not just for someone else, but just for yourself to be good at what you do, to keep you with a lot of confidence, then success is inevitable. Because if you don't quit, you can't lose.
Oh, absolutely. That's what we always say. And nothing beats a failure but a try.
Yeah.
So you always, you fall down, you get up, you lose. There's always a possibility of a win. So you just never stop. That's one of the things that I always try to do. It doesn't matter how it might look, how it might appear.
How old you are.
Right. Well, my philosophy on that. We just go on and keep it moving and just make it happen. So just another quick thing, back right quick to the entertainment. Aretha Franklin went out of here like the pure queen
Queen,
that she was.
oh,
I mean, who
that homegoing was off
has
the chain.
three changes from red to blue to gold and goes out in a rose gold coffin? I mean, That it don't get no better
That's
than that.
that's
She went
style to
out like
style
she lived.
style to the end.
I'm telling you, they put her away royally. She went out of here. If you want to say with a bang, they said the entertainment was just fabulous.
That was what you call a celebration
Yeah, that was a
of her life.
celebration of her life for real. She was the queen, and she went out just like
Like the
that,
queen.
a queen. So we all of us are still her fans. We'll always be her fans. We wish many blessings to her family. And hey, she was the queen.
Can't
Yeah.
wait to get to heaven so I can see her next performance.
Well, I don't think you're in that big of a hurry, but anyway,
Not really. Not really.
right. So anyway, you're here at intellectualradio.com. Like me on Facebook. Make sure you do that. I am not, and I have to be slapping my hand on my other hand that I've got to really work on making sure that I'm on my Facebook page a lot more. But like me anyway. I don't always come on Facebook as much as I should because I always, when I got something to say, that's when I'm on there. So, but I will keep you definitely posted on my upcoming CD again, Love is Possible, and you know it is. And so we're just going to continue to keep it moving. We always want to graciously thank our host,
Hmm.
Mr. Earl Winfrey, for having a platform for us to be able to share, to give back, and to talk about things that mean a lot to us. And hopefully that we really do feed your brain because that's what this intellectual radio is all about. So, on that note, we're going to say what, Ed?
I want to thank you, Earl, for letting me be myself again.
And we're going to say you have a really, really good evening and embrace life. Life will embrace you back. And remember, all you give is all you get. Here's to life, your life. Have a good evening.
Good night, everybody.
The manifestation of my dream. We must have been dreaming the